All right, welcome everybody to the Real College Life podcast. Again, another banger episode we have lined up
Did you
today.
just say episode?
Episode.
Episode.
That's right. They know what I meant. They know what I meant. We're talking about how to make good friends, especially friends that you can make fun of.
Yeah, they were the best friends.
Right.
So, for this episode, we'll
Yes.
start off with your name and then one thing that was like a total freshman move that you did to try to make friends. So,
Yeah.
anyone want to start?
I can. I'm Kiersten, and freshman year I was a chronic leave the door open like the first couple weeks, and then like walk the halls of May Roach to see who also left their door open. And then me and my roommate had like the whiteboard on the outside, and we were like, knock if you want candy, which like hindsight sounds creepy, but it actually did kind of work.
I also remember freshman Kiersten was question of the day girl.
Oh my gosh.
So that was
That was a really great move.
It was always fun to show
was
up to
super
crew
fun.
and be like, "What's the question?"
It was fun to matter to you. Like I always feel like, oh, I matter to her.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
That's funny 'cause that's actually how we met.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, what? What?
Yeah.
What?
She asked me the
Later.
question of the day, but she didn't ask my name.
No,
So I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like, I can just answer the question and, like, it doesn't have to go anywhere. But look, here we are now.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of names, who are you?
Who are
Oh.
I'm Gracie Johnson, and a total freshman move that I did. I don't know if this is, like, total freshman, but I'm a big complimenter. And
Mhm.
so I'd be, like, standing in line, and, like, if someone was behind me or in front of me, and I'm like, I really like their shoes, or, like,
Yeah,
their, like, hair looks, like, really cool.
Mhm.
I would, like, compliment them, and
that's
then
good.
it would always just, like, start. Like,
Wow.
as we moved across the line, like,
Yeah.
we just would keep talking.
That's good.
So,
Nice. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
We would also try the door open trip. Oh, my name's
Mhm.
Gerrit.
Hi, Gerrit.
So yeah, we would open our door and then we had a mini hoop in our
Yeah.
dorm. So we'd try to get people to come shoot a hoop when they were walking
Mm.
by. But it was COVID era, so people were pretty
Oh.
shy.
Right.
I was telling you guys that I just did not do any freshman moves.
Mm.
And my freshman moves were trying to get home as much as I could on the weekends and showing up to class. And I played football, which put me in community with other people,
There you
Mhm.
go.
but definitely not like intentionality did not exist.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I do feel like that is a total freshman move in a
Right.
sense.
There you
though.
go. Boom.
Like a lot of people come to college and they're like, well, I stayed here for the first weekend and I don't have my best friends yet. And so
Right.
I'm just going to go back home
Yep.
where I know what it's like. I know my
Mhm.
family. I know my friends. And so, yeah, that's kind of what we wanted to talk about today is how can college students make good friends?
Yeah.
How can
Mhm.
they make such good friends that they never want to go home and always want to be hanging out with their friends on the weekends? So, first, let's kind of talk about maybe what's hard
Mhm.
about making friends at college. So, what's been your experience?
Hmm. I think there's grief involved with
Mm.
losing your high school friends if you had good high school friends,
Yeah.
or even your high school family. Well, hopefully your forever family, but like your sense of community is really like shifted, especially if you're going to college away from, home. And there is no class on making friends. There's no
Mhm.
rule book about it. There's no do these 3 things and you'll have instant relationship. And there is a sense of like unity, as a freshman in the res halls, let's say, of like we're together,
Mhm.
alone. But then
Mhm.
there's this also, I don't know about you guys, if you remember that moment where mom or dad or whatever drove away. And back then we had Kmart right next door to campus. No joke, the good old days, and they'd like done one more Kmart run, filled my refrigerator with, I don't know, some kind of juice and then
Bug juice?
bug juice.
Yeah.
I think it was actually like Capri Suns or something, but
Oh.
then,
Mm.
and then they drove away and
Right.
you're like, I'm home by myself,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's me and my roommate.
right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's real.
I'd say like I kind of had the opposite where like I miss like my high school friends. Like the end of my high school career, I kind of had the opposite. So had a lot of life stuff going on. I feel like that's a lot of freshmen because
Hmm. Interesting.
you just like left high school, even if like you know everyone going on, you're like, oh my goodness, wait, like I'm at this college thing, I'm not with my parents. Like there's a lot of life changing going on. You
Mm-hmm.
also you don't know the people around you. Like for me, I found a lot of security in high school. Like I knew everybody.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't know what was going on, I at least knew the vibes. Like I knew
Yeah.
every single person. So it wasn't like I had to figure them out. It was so going to college, it was start from scratch. Also, nobody cares like what you did in high school, really. Like,
Right.
it's just a good thing and a bad thing. But I think what was really hard for me was I was used to in high school constantly being surrounded by people and like knowing those people well. And then I got to college and I knew my roommate, and that I was even blessed to do that. But like, that was it. So starting from scratch is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know too that like a lot of other people's experiences is like just not feeling you belong in any certain like
Yeah.
space or area, and it's easy to like during welcome week when you see like all the people that like it looks like everyone like knows each other, and like you're like I don't really know like if these people actually know each other, or and it's easy to like compare like and look at like what other people are, how the social space looks to like other people. And two, even just before you get to college and seeing people that were older than you in high school like go from high school to college, and then see like maybe on social media like
Yeah.
wait, like things are different now, and like going to college and thinking like it looks on social media easier than maybe it
Mhm.
actually is.
Totally.
And so it's just easy to get in the mindset of comparing. And
Yeah, comparing is
Yeah.
huge though. I mean, I remember like the nice days on campus when it felt like everyone was outside hanging out with their friends, and you're like stuck in the dorm and you have no one to hang out with, and you kind of feel this sense of like, what do I do? And I just remember kind of having a pit in my stomach over like some of those times. It's like, what do I do? Who do I hang out with? Where do I go?
Yeah. I know for me, like you said, coming out of high school, I was grieving. Like I had a really good friend group in high school, and part of my transition into college, I was like, why do I have to leave these friends and
Yep.
this group that I've like worked so hard to build, and now I just got to start from scratch. And yeah, then I came to college, and a lot of us hadn't practiced that exercise of making new friends,
Right.
initiating conversations. We had kind of just been stuck around each other and just naturally like bonded. And so all of a sudden I'm trying to figure out like, how do I even talk to new people?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess how is making friends in high school a little bit different than making friends in college?
I know for me in high school, like I was constantly surrounded by the same people. Like I was constantly in my group, or like I had class with this person, or I had lunch with this person. Like there was just built in friendships. So in college, you have to try a little more to be friends with people, especially with like there's so many different things. And also like I look at like me and Gracie are also very different, but like we get along with a lot of things. Or I have friends too where in high school I probably would have never been friends with like outdoorsy people, and I'm friends with like Caden and Jacob, who are very, if you don't know them, they're very outdoorsy, like hunting, fishing, and that. In high school, I never would have done that. So I think high school friendships and college friendships are also different because you want to create like friendships with people that are very like different also.
yeah, I feel like I would agree with the part of it being like a routine, because I think now I even look back at like my high school friends, and we don't talk like very much anymore. Like if I were to see them, like I totally like say hi, like what's up. But I realized like wait, we were friends mostly because like our routines and our like schedules were like so
Yeah.
similar. Like it would be 7:30 like in the morning, I'm sitting next to them in history class, but then we had soccer practice or like a soccer game, and we were together like all day. And so I think the difference between high school and college is that you have to like make much more of like an effort to not only make intentional choices on who your friends are, but also just it changes semester to semester. Like
Yeah.
I have people in class that I sit next to like one semester, and then it's a whole new schedule.
Yeah.
And even when you do sit next to them, it's 2 times a week, 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe if you have a lab, maybe 4 times a week.
Yeah.
But I know in high school for me, I had the same class 5 days a week. And so I'd see, you just naturally are able to build
Yeah.
momentum and friendships that way, where that's not necessarily the case in college. But
Yeah, I mean, I have these like English major quotes coming to my head right now.
drop
Bring 'em
them
up.
I'm
on.
gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna I'm gonna
Come
throw a
on.
few. So I think it was Longfellow that wrote, "A boy's will is the wind's will, and the thoughts of life are long, long thoughts."
Mm.
And
that means.
I think what's fascinating as I've gotten older and I've thought about like friendships, relationships, elementary school, junior high, high school, these people that like you see on Facebook now, but we don't even have a class reunion anymore. So we haven't had a class reunion. I know that's unique to maybe my experience, but I think about these people that I became a person around in like junior high and high school,
Mm-hmm.
and how like they were very significant relationships, very important and very special to me to this day, even though I don't talk to most of them. And they're long thoughts. When I sit and think about them, I'm like, wow, I experienced that with them, good, bad, all kinds of stuff, developmental. They're long thoughts when I sit down and think about it. And when I think about college, I mean, it's the same thing. Like these people that were a part of my formation and my introduction into adulthood, super important, super significant. But I also think that the mystery of friendship is what C.S. Lewis would say in The Four Loves, where he would say that, a friend is nothing more than going in a direction and looking next to you and seeing someone there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes friendship so hard, is that you want to try to put it in a test tube, but essentially in its most basic element, you're going in a direction in life, and all of a sudden you look next to you and you're like, hey, there's a cool person next to me who's kind of headed in the same direction. And that's about as deep as friendship gets,
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's good. English major quotes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, my next question is, why is it even important to make friends at all in college?
I know for me, like college has brought a lot of change and a lot of hard things and a lot of great things. And I think about how a lot of my experiences, I brought someone else into that experience with me for the better or for the worst. And I think it also goes back to your friends guide you towards, like, can help you guide you towards something, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like who you surround yourself with will like guide you towards that. So for me, having friends in college has meant like supporting me throughout difficult seasons and positive seasons. I think about this time last year, I was home in Appleton and I was interning, and like my friends with like Gracie and the other hooligans would call me like once a week on a FaceTime. They're playing cards. I'm just like vibing on the phone.
Right.
But like I think that's really testament to friendship about how they're intentional with that. Or a group also drove out to North Dakota to visit me for like 10 hours. Like that's insane. But these friends like are intentional with it and support you through seasons that, like, I encourage you to have like, bro, my friends are so crazy. Like they did this thing, like not in like a like bad way, but like crazily supportive of you in awesome seasons, like show up for you in great seasons, but also show up for you when
that's special.
Yeah. And that's really special. So find crazy friends that are crazy compassionate about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
look at that Bible over there. You go, Gracie, but I gotta look something up.
I think kind of going off of what Ryan was saying, where college is such like I say like character development, like it is like so much change is happening and so much time in yourself, and it's almost like hard to even like grasp how much is like changing and how much you're growing. And I think it's important to have friends that are just alongside you to like kind of remind yourself like, okay, these are all like good things that are happening. Like the changes is like not a negative thing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know. I think
that's
even
good.
in my like experience, I switched like my track in my major, and so I like my freshman year got like really tight with the people that I was going off to do like a similar job with, and like we had like a similar mindset. And then when I switched, I was like, dang it, like I kind of have to start like from scratch. But actually, like it was so like impactful for me to actually see, wait, like I can make good friends here too, and people that are like also like on the same track that I am, even if I change tracks. And so I think it's important to have friendships in college that like remind you that where you are is like a good thing.
Right.
You got something there, Ryan?
I'm really embarrassed right now because I have a really good Bible verse, but can you spread these pages? There's like a page there. Can you get them to go? Oh, was it like stuck together?
What a good friend.
Wow.
Yeah, it was stuck together.
Good friends help other friends read the Bible too.
It was the verse I needed though, so it does matter.
Okay.
For this conversation. So in Proverbs 18, it says, "Whoever isolates himself seeks his own desires. He breaks out against all sound judgment. A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing his opinion." And I just feel like, I mean, it's a cultural problem right now, right? But like isolation allows us to think and be in ways that are not good. And I think that friendships and, like the one another's, I bring this up a lot with like the New Testament talking about loving one another and the different kinds of one another's that we're meant to care for each other. And they're not always comfortable. To put yourself in an environment of community isn't always a comfortable thing, but we're called to do it. And it does make us more like Jesus, and it makes us better people. But there is this temptation, I feel like, especially in today's world, where we just want to isolate, pull away. And friendships hopefully can allow us to be not isolating ourselves, but isolation's real, and it can feel really good for a season.
Yeah. It can be kind of the easy way out, for sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, off of like what you said, I think sometimes it can even be like wanting to isolate yourself because you have an expectation for how like you think that relationships are like supposed to look, or how like friendships are supposed to like start to form. And so because it's not looking how you expect it to look, then it's like there's no point in even like trying or like putting in the like energy to try to make friends, I guess.
Has that been discouraging to you in your life? Do you feel like there have been times where you've been like discouraged by the expectations?
For sure. Yeah. I think maybe more so in high school, for me at least, because a lot of my relationships did look really similar. I was like trying to like kind of grasp like how am I supposed to progress in these like friendships. And I think more so in college, having such like a broad like pool of people to like have friendships with has helped make it easier, or make it easier to not have that expectation.
Sure. Wow. Yeah. So the diversity of your relationships has caused you to have better expectations?
For sure. And just the growth of college.
Yeah. That's good.
It's interesting, like when you fill out the roommate form, when you get to point,
my gosh.
you have to like say what kind of relationship you want with this roommate, and it's like, I just met this person today and I have to fill this out by the end of the week.
Right.
Whoa.
But
so like, is it like, because I don't think I did this, was it like I want to be best friends with this person?
Yeah.
I would like to just
Yes.
Really?
You put on the form like, what level of friendship you want. So it's like,
yes.
I think
big commitment.
There is like a healthiness to it because you come in.
It's like a front end DTR.
Yeah, like if you come in and you expect you and your roommate to be best friends.
Right.
I know Jamie told a funny, Jamie and Lauren, like were roommate. Lauren interned last year, and like the first thing Jamie did is like came up and gave Lauren a big hug, and Lauren is not a hug person at all. So anyways, I think it's just it's interesting that the university has identified, like what you were saying, expectations of friendship.
That's funny.
As so important to establish beforehand.
Or even that, I think my freshman year, like I looked at a lot of upperclassmen friendships in crew, and I was like, why aren't my friendships like that now? After being here for a month, I was like, why am I not have this glorious friend group that all the upperclassmen have? And me and Grace were just talking about that too. I think it's really easy when you're an underclassman to be like, man, like all these upperclassmen like have it like perfectly put it together, and oftentimes. And I'm now reflecting on that as one of the upperclassmen is I didn't see the front start of that, or I didn't see the beginning of it. I just saw the end of that friend, or not the end of the friendship, but I saw like the mature friendship that it is now. Like I didn't see the awkward conversations in Lower DeBow. I didn't see like whatever adventures they went on. And I didn't like really have like I was really good friends with Jeremy, but like we weren't really good friends till the end of like maybe freshman year. Like we were
probably.
Yeah.
Months before we went.
Well, and I would say, having been on campus as long as I have been, there's seasons where I look at friend groups and I'm like, wow, I didn't have a friend group that did X, Y, or Z together in that way. And a lot of people didn't. And that's what's challenging too, is that there are seasons where friendship and intimacy, just people find each other and go deep.
Yeah.
And it creates really deep friendship relationships. And there's seasons where it's more of an acquaintance kind of thing. And people come together on a Thursday night and they know each other, but they're not spending every minute together. And there's just been a lot. I don't think there's been one season of crew in the last 20 years in Stevens Point that looked exactly like the other one. And people are different. Friendships and relationships are different. And, as a freshman, you look up and you go, wow, I would love to have X, Y, or Z. And it might look totally different. And it will look totally different
Yeah.
because different people, different situations.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think
Go ahead.
sorry. I think it's important to like say that that's okay. Like
Yeah.
it's like totally normal to have the relationships that you have with people like be completely like different, especially
Right.
because everyone's different.
Yes.
Like you can get into the conversation of Sonder where it's like, oh, everyone has like a different life, different like
Yeah.
living, but it's more like the relationship that I have with Kiersten is going to be different than the relationship that you guys have with Kiersten, or like
Totally.
and vice versa. And it's like that's the beautiful part about
Mhm.
being human and being able to like experience life
Yeah.
as a human.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of like my major too. So that's kind of like
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
the
Your
way
TED
that I like
Talk
to.
topic.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, a couple of common sayings I think that are generally helpful when thinking about this is one, like the people you meet the first week or the first couple weeks might and probably aren't going to be the people that you're hanging out
Right.
with your senior year. And I found that to be
Hmm.
mostly true. Like I was still acquaintances with,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
some of the people I
Mhm.
ran into, but yeah, I think patience is definitely a huge
Mhm.
part of making friends in college and just kind of being open and ready to whoever might cross your path. And then the second thing is kind of the famous quote of like the 5 people you
Yeah.
surround yourself with is who you become. And
Yeah.
I've definitely seen that to be true in my own faith life of the people I was surrounded with freshman year and then sophomore year. All of a sudden there's a bunch of crew people in my life, and they really challenged me in my faith and uplifted me to consider things more seriously and to really, really dig deeper. So I think
Wow.
that's important when thinking about friends.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think I'd say another thing is just learning to give people grace.
mhm.
Yeah.
I think that was a hard thing that I didn't really understand, and I'm still learning. But that, like, the grace of Jesus that he's given to me means that I should fight to give my friends grace in their shortcomings.
Yeah.
That was hard for me in college. Like, I wanted my Christian friends to be perfect. And I think at times I held my friends to a bar that was maybe higher than what was realistic, because I wanted our Christian community to be this perfect Christian community, and I wanted
Mhm.
it to look really perfect. And when it wasn't that way, then I began to feel dissonant, and learning to give grace has been a huge, it's been a great thing in my life in friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how, for our audience, how can they take steps to make good friends? What should they do?
I think the first step is to be willing to make new friends. Like, no, being so serious. I think if you go in thinking like, it's like, oh, where are all my good friends? But like you aren't in the mental headspace or like aren't putting in the effort to want to make good friends,
Yeah.
then that's gonna like create a barrier for you not to make good friends. And like what I mean by that is, how often are you like going places, or how often are you just trying? It's gonna feel awkward, but the chances are is like both of you feel awkward trying to initiate conversation.
Totally.
Like if you're nervous, the other person's probably just as nervous. Like it's okay to go make good friends. I'd also say, like, know who you are first. Like, know where you stand and kind of what you're looking for in friendships. Like, you shouldn't be, like, envisioning this perfect friend. Like, you're saying, like,
Mm-hmm.
my friend needs to have all of these perfect qualities. But know kind of what type of friendship are you looking for. And I think, like, for me, it was, I'm trying to figure out my faith. So Christian friends are probably a good first step. So for me, that was, like, getting involved in Christian community and, like, being persistent, going to things and chronically inviting people.
Those are like awesome attributes, because like showing up to things where you don't have friends is hard.
Yeah.
But if you do it long enough,
Exactly.
odds are pretty good something
Yeah.
will happen for sure.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I am a firm believer in being your own best friend first.
Come on.
And I know that sounds kind of like cringe, but I think when you are grounded in the relationship that you have with
Mhm.
yourself,
That's good.
it changes the way that you show up in friendships.
Yeah.
Because I think when you have kind of like, what's the word? When you sit with yourself and you're like, is my motivation to want friendships out of like anxiety of not having anyone, or is it to genuinely like pour into people and
Yeah.
allow people to pour into you?
Mhm.
That's when you can see like the relationship is not like a give and take,
Yeah.
or it is a give and take and not like you're just taking
Right.
the relationship for yourself, I guess, if that makes sense. And so, firm believer in being your own best friend first. But then also like being involved. I know in the things that you're a part of, I know like for me, like coming to Crew, I wasn't really trying to like look for like a Christian community, but like I just like met people that were going to Crew in my hall, and I was like going to Bible study. I was like, you know what, like maybe we should like all like walk together, or
That's
like
cool.
And so then when we were like all realizing that we were all going to the same place, like other people started inviting others that wanted to walk to Crew as well, and so it kind of became like a walk party like over. So even like the small things, inviting people into like just going places with you. Yeah.
I think believing that you need friends.
Yeah.
Friends are good. No, need is relative. Like friends are good. Friends add value to our life. So they're important. I want to be careful with the need, because there are seasons where I've been lonely and where I haven't felt like I've had a lot of friends, and I don't want to diminish that is a reality in life in seasons. You know, I think, but acknowledging our that friends will make our life better. So, you know, and then I think being curious about people, like, and not assuming that, like, I don't know, when I got to point, I was like, I think, you know, everyone outside of my hometown is just a bunch of jerks. Like that, it's just, I'm never going to find anyone. That's kind of like the headspace of my 18-year-old Ryan Nadel. Like, I'm never going to find anyone like my friend group. I'm never going to, it's never going to be the same. And I just think, like, get some of that stuff out of your head.
Right.
Like, there are new adventures to be had. There's new experiences out there. There are new people that you've never met before that you might find are the type of people that just you one day think you can't live without, you know. And so just being willing to be open to some of that too.
That's good stuff. I know my freshman year, particularly, like the first semester was really hard for me with like loneliness and just not feeling connected to the people around me. Like I knew people, but I didn't feel known, if that makes sense. And I remember talking with my dad about it, and he said that people are really interested to talk about themselves. Most people are willing to share like who they are, and so somebody just has to be courageous enough to go up to them and ask them about who they are. And so he kind of challenged me, like, you kind of got to be that person. You kind of got to be vulnerable in that sense. And so that was, I didn't make any like ginormous friendships from that. I would go to Upper DeBow and I would sit next to somebody who was sitting alone, ask them who they are. I don't think I remember anybody who I sat with, but that just gave me so much more confidence that
really?
I can go up to somebody and they're a human being, and they actually like are wanting for people to come up to them because I've been that person.
Right.
I've been that person sitting in Upper DeBow, like, man, I just wish somebody would like come up and talk to me. And so to be that person for someone else actually made me feel really good, even though there weren't any direct results.
Right.
I also know that like people can be like or look intimidating because I have a friendship that this is like the first friend that I met at Stevens Point, and it was during orientation, and I was like sitting down, like it was at the part of the orientation where like you've broken up into like smaller groups, and so like no one knows anyone, and so this girl like came to sit next to me, and she like threw me a compliment, and I was like, oh, thanks, and whatever, and then we like got to become like really good friends. And as we were like kind of reminiscing on like how we met, she was like, I was completely like intimidated and I did not want to like talk to you.
Wow.
Like, what do you mean? Like I was probably wearing a smiley face on my shirt. Like I don't know like how you would think that I'm like intimidating. But I think realizing that like how if you like are like looking at other people and thinking they're intimidating, like you never really know how you're being perceived or how you're perceiving other people in like a correct way. And so I would also just encourage, like, I know that people can sometimes look scary or intimidating, but like we're all human beings. So
that's good. That's good. That might be the reason you should try to make friends with them.
Yeah.
Like, take the challenge.
Yeah. I think it's good to have like questions in your back pocket that you kind of go to, whether it feels scripted or not. Like obviously the name, major, where you're from, that kind of stuff. But it's good to have like a couple of interesting questions, whether that be about hobbies, that like you have almost memorized. Like when you are nervous and your heart's beating and your palms are sweaty, like you know how to say those questions.
That's good. Yeah. I think vulnerability is huge. Being able to admit that you're flawed at times. Compliments. I think making memories, and that's one of the things that crew does so well with people is like, let's go somewhere in the world and make a memory. Because it's, I don't know, you always have that with a friend. You know, you always have that kind of experience. I have a friend who's like, he came over with his kids one day and was like, we got to do something. We got to make a memory. We can't just sit here and eat food in your house. We got to go do, let's like climb a tree or do something crazy. He was just like, we got to do something fun. And I'm like, yeah, because that's what we, you know, we sit around and talk about our college days, and we talk about, you know, when we flipped his boat going down the Wisconsin River, and, you know, the memories, right? And that's what makes, part of what makes friendship a friendship is like, we did that together. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think too, it can be really easy in college to just do things by yourself. Just go to the gym by yourself, or I know like the way I got really close with my friend Joel is he invited me to come with him on Facebook Marketplace runs. And like that's totally something he could have done by himself, but it was like that was how we bonded.
Right.
And so I don't know if you're walking to the grocery store or if you're going to the gym or you want to go to a basketball game, like invite a friend. And like you said, like go make a memory. Go do, hey, let's go fishing overnight. Let's drive to Texas this weekend. Like do something crazy together.
Yeah, we were just talking about that too. Of like most of like my favorite memories weren't these big planned events we were doing. It was, do you guys want to come over and play the Wii? And then like that turns into like really fun, cool memories. Like I think you get sometimes stuck in the headspace of like, I need to plan this amazing, awesome event that we're all going to create these beautiful memories, which is great. But I also want to encourage you, like most friendships, like good memories are made during not huge major moments.
Yeah.
I also think too is staying open-minded to other people's hobbies.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because we have a friend, Caden, shout out Caden. He was at our apartment one time and he was like, so Gracie, when are we going duck hunting? And I'm like, I'll go duck hunting with you. And he was like, are you serious? Like I was kind of like joking. I'm like, no, like I'll go duck hunting with you. And so me, him, and another good friend of ours went duck hunting. We didn't get anything, but it was actually so fun to like try something new and do something like that I probably wouldn't have done alone if Caden didn't like have that hobby. And so yeah, staying open-minded to doing something.
And now you're hardcore, right? Like you've been getting limits.
Yeah, yeah. You should.
Yeah, our apartment is just riddled with
whole
ducks everywhere.
That's good.
Ducks Unlimited.
You get a duck. You get a duck. And you get a duck.
Oh goodness. Well, kind of to wrap us up, what would you tell your freshman self if you could sit down?
Oh my gosh.
What would be your message?
You want to go first, Gracie?
I can go first.
Thank you.
I would say it's okay to have awkward conversations.
Yes.
I think is when I try to make
good. Okay, all right.
Because I know for me, like I would always like try and make sure that I'm not coming off awkward, which would make me look more awkward. And then I'd leave the conversation and I'm like, I was so awkward.
Dang it.
Shoot. We'll get him next time. But I think like honestly kind of embracing the awkwardness of like even like a passerby like conversation. I know like I would see someone I'm like kind of acquaintances with and I'm like, hey, like, and then I have an AirPod in and it's like hard to, and I know I look awkward, but like just walking away from those interactions and just kind of being content with them.
Yeah, that's good.
I would say sweat it out, kind of off of what you were saying. Like, there's going to be some sweaty conversations, and meaning like awkward, like, you know, do I ask this? Do I not? And I think you brought up a really good point, like walking past each other on the sidewalk, like just say hi. They probably see you, and I'm that person who like doesn't say hi, but whenever somebody does say hi, I'm like, oh, they remember me.
Aww.
I know.
So yeah, just like if you have the courage in you, like be the one to say hi, be the one to initiate and sweat it out.
Kiersten?
I would say be okay being you. I think I had a lot of hard time like walking up to people because I was afraid. I was like, although the question of the day is like, oh, she's so outgoing, but I was scared out of my mind, like introducing myself to people. So I'd also say like, be okay being you. And then also you don't have to be friends with everybody. You're not going to be friends with everybody. And I think that was just a big adjustment in my head because that was my high school where I tried to be friends with everybody. And going to college, you learn that I like there's like a new trend on social media. It's like, I'd rather have like $4 than 400 pennies. Like, I'd rather have 4 really good friends than a bunch of acquaintances
sure,
that I
okay.
don't know that well. So I think that was something I would remind myself. It's like, Kiersten, it's okay. You're
Mhm.
not going to be friends with everybody. And that's a good thing.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I would say like just get out there and meet people
Mm-hmm.
and invest in the place where you are. Another good proverb related to this is better a friend near than a brother far.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know exactly where that lives, but it's in there somewhere. But I just think like, man, if you're in a place for even a semester, like
Yeah.
take some people with you, take some friends out of that and invest in community around you. I think it's worth it, and it's life skills that you're going to need the rest of your life. I mean, I still need to tell myself some of this stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely a transferable skill, making friends and initiating. So thank you all for listening today. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode.
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 Yeah, thanks for tuning in and have a great rest of your day.